A town square, Louisiana, 1863. The bell tower strikes midnight, but no one comes to church. The air is still, yet inside the parsonage hangs a wedding dress stained with candle soot. No one ever found the bride. No one ever found the groom, but the record of their marriage was signed, by the same hand, in the heart of St. Landry Parish, Louisiana. A marriage was whispered into existence. A grandfather, respected, wealthy, untouchable, took his own granddaughter as his bride. The story was not one of love but of legacy, of inheritance, of a sickness that flowed through the family like a curse. The church sanctioned it, the law overlooked it, the town buried it. The Deschamps estate loomed over the swamps, its shutters always closed, its halls damp with mildew and silence. Neighbors swore they saw lights moving in the attic at night, candles carried in ritual circles. The family's slaves whispered of locked doors, of chains that rattled when no wind blew, of cries that sounded neither young nor old, but something in between. The granddaughter's name was erased, from ledgers, from census rolls, from memory. She was referred to only as the child, though by 1863 she was 16. Her dress was sewn from linen already yellowed with age, passed down like a shroud. Witnesses claimed she did not speak at her wedding. Her lips trembled, but no sound came. Her silence became the town's silence. Father Armand, parish priest, officiated the marriage. He signed the registry in black ink, his hand shaking, but he added a strange line in Latin beneath the names. Non iesti matrimonium, said sacrificium. This is not marriage, but sacrifice. No one dared question it. 2 farmhands who attended the ceremony vanished within a week. Their cabins stood abandoned, tables set, food half-eaten, chairs overturned. Some said they had fled the county. Others whispered they had been swallowed by the swamp, but one neighbor found something left behind, scraps of torn paper, each soaked in something dark, each repeating the words she should not be his. The Deschamps family funded a local orphanage in Opelousas. Children arrived, children vanished, no graves, no records, only empty beds. Local gossip connected these vanishings to the Deschamps' wedding, as if the bride was not enough, as if blood alone could not satisfy what the old man sought to preserve. Louisiana was already aflame with civil war, and St. Landry Parish was its own island of corruption. The townspeople looked away. To confront the marriage meant confronting themselves, their silence, their fear, their complicity. So they whispered in kitchens, but never in church pews. The parish bell rang, but it tolled for no one. The granddaughter lived in the attic, locked. Visitors claimed they heard scratching behind the walls. The slaves who tended her food trays never saw her face, only a pale hand reaching into the dark. When the house burned decades later, neighbors swore the attic window remained blackened with soot, except for 2 pale handprints pressed against the glass. In 1892, long after the family line seemed extinguished, a ledger was discovered in the courthouse basement. Inside were lists of births and deaths, but beside each entry was another symbol. Cryptic marks, some resembling crosses, others like chains. Every girl's name in the family was struck through with ink. Every boy's name remained untouched. A family purified, generation after generation. The marriage was defended by a passage no one could find in Scripture. A bastardized verse, written in archaic French, claiming that blood returning unto blood is sacred before God. No Bible carries such a line. No church doctrine speaks of it, yet Father Armand preached it to the townsfolk, until the day his tongue was cut from his mouth. On the first anniversary of the wedding, townsfolk reported a midnight procession moving from the Deschamps estate into the swamp. Lanterns floated across the black water, bobbing like spirits. They sang no hymns. They spoke no words, but the cries of something, human or not, echoed from the cypress groves until dawn. In 1904, hospital records surfaced. Admissions of children from St. Landry showing severe cranial malformations, teeth fully formed at birth, and tongues too large for mouths. These children did not live long. Doctors destroyed the records, ashamed of what they could not explain. But a single photograph remained, its edges burned, its center showing only a child's head wrapped in cloth, eyes swollen shut. Rumors tied the Deschamps family to Confederate officers. Soldiers were said to attend secret gatherings in the swamps. What did they trade? Men for children, blood for blessings. The marriage was no private corruption. It was sanctioned, shielded, institutional. It was a pact written not in ink, but in veins. By 1920, the marriage had been erased. Historians who inquired found courthouse fires, missing documents, rewritten family trees. No granddaughter, no grandfather. Only silence, but silence is louder than truth when everyone carries it together. A fisherman claimed to have pulled a coffin from the swamp. Inside, not one body, but two, folded together. An old man and a young girl, bones twisted like vines. He swore their skulls were fused at the temple. He threw the coffin back into the water and never fished again. On his deathbed, a successor to Father Armand confessed to a nurse. It was never marriage. It was sealing. He bound her soul to his, and she still walks. I have heard her at my window for 60 years. Always the same question. When will the bells ring for me? The bell tower instant. Landry no longer rings. It has not since 1863. The rope rotted, the wood warped. Yet visitors say the sound still travels across the parish on nights of no moon. A soundless toll felt in the chest, like a rib breaking. In 1937, a woman arrived in Oplauses, claiming descent from the Deschamps line. She carried no documents, only a wedding dress in a locked chest. Locals said she looked both young and impossibly old. She asked one question to every person she met. Do you remember her name? No one could answer. The Deschamps marriage was never annulled, never dissolved. In the eyes of the town, and perhaps of something older, it still stands. And when families hide secrets, when churches erase names, when orphanages lose children, the marriage repeats itself. Not always in law, not always in blood, but always in silence. For silence is the true inheritance. And silence is the curse.